I will not spin plates to make everyone happy.
I will not duck to avoid hitting the glass ceiling.
I will not stay in a small box where I cannot control my life.
I will not just stand on the sidelines and cheer the team on.
I will not carry ancestral baggage, fearful that if I lay down, there will be no purpose in my life.
I will not do something well that doesn't make me happy.
I will not speak so softly that my voice is not heard.
I will not sit at home while others experience the world.
I will not wear masks to avoid being seen fully or upsetting others.
I will not convince myself that tomorrow will suffice when it comes to following my bliss.
I will not play follow the leader unless I am the leader.
Follow your bliss.
Welcome to another edition of Hear Me Roar. I'm your host, Haley Murphy. On today's show, we have Dr. Catherine Pullman-Tier, who is a minister and also a dean of education here at Morehead State. We also have an interview with student Chelsea Armstrong about a group project she's been working on, as well as a look at a Buddhist temple in North Carolina and an interview with documentarian Mimi Pickering. Stay tuned for another exciting edition of Hear Me Roar. Would you encourage college-age girls to pursue to become a professor or a dean? Is that a good field for women, you think?
It's a wonderful field. It's one where women are desperately needed.
Mm-hmm. Well, you said you were retiring in December, correct? What are your big retirement plans?
My biggest retirement plan is to become a hospice volunteer. Wow. I see that as my next wave and part of where I think I'm led as a personal ministry to move in to help people at the end of their lives. So,
are you going to do that here locally?
I'm going to do that in Western North Carolina.
Why North Carolina?
That's where my family is, waiting on me to retire, so I want to get down there.
Exciting. Well, thank you so much for being here today. That's all the time we have. We'll be right back with more from Hear Me Roar. Last semester, a student from Hear Me Roar was actually able to visit a Buddhist temple in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, and able to interview one of the reverends there. Let's take a look at that.
As a child in elementary school in a small town near the mountains in Korea, I would listen to my homeroom teacher's little homilies. In one of them, he said, "As human beings, we are seeking after four great values. They are truthfulness, goodness, beauty, and holiness." I contemplated what the teacher said and thought to myself, well, I can find truthfulness, goodness, and beauty inside me and around me, but I don't seem to find holiness. I've got to find a way to feel this holiness. This contemplation led me to nearby one Buddhist temple. Approaching the temple for the first time, I noticed it had many magnificent trees and I felt surrounded by the beauty and sublime energy flowing out from the place. I was still a young child, and I felt so thrilled and overwhelmed with awe that I had to gather my courage to continue walking. When I entered the Dharma Hall sanctuary room, I saw a circle carved on a board about the size of a door above the altar. I did not pay much attention to the carved circle. I believed that the priest, the Won Buddhist minister, would open the wooden door over the altar, and there I would see a Buddha statue. Then one Sunday, I learned the meaning of that circle. One means circle. A circle image enshrined on the altar is a symbol of truth. It is the mind picture of Buddhas, sages, saints, and all the enlightened masters, and the symbol of true nature of all sentient beings. When Sotaesan, the founding master of Won Buddhism, began teaching in 1916, he envisioned a practice for all people. It was quite revolutionary, especially his action to bring equal power to men and women. One cold winter day, I was studying English, memorizing new vocabulary words. My grandmother, who was smoking a long tobacco pipe, said to me, "As a girl, once you are married, that is it. What is the use of studying so hard?" Her comment made me think about the unfair situation of women in our society. That was one of the moments that led me to think of becoming a Buddhist nun. But when I learned that traditional Buddhist nuns have to follow 200 more precepts than monks, and that an elderly nun has to bow to a young monk, while a young monk does not bow to an elderly nun, I saw that there was inequality in traditional Buddhism too. Attending Won Buddhism youth services, I found a different situation. There were active women Gyomunim in a Won Buddhist temple. Clergy women looked to be well empowered in their roles of running the temple and teaching practitioners. And the women Gyomunim in my hometown gave me a big dream. The vision of being of service for and to many others, not only in Korea, but throughout the whole world.
For more information about the temple or for more about Reverend Won Gong, you can visit wonbuddhismnc.org. Hear Me Roar will be right back after this. We have with us now Chelsea Armstrong. Hi, Chelsea. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing well. Well, thanks for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Can you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I am a junior convergent media major here at Moorhead, and I'm planning on going into something to do with media. I'm not sure if it's going to be, something with television or radio maybe, but just trying to figure out where my place is.
You wear a lot of different hats around here.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you're currently working on a project in a media criticism class. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
We actually just finished a project. It was myself and a group of a few other individuals that studied, I guess, the role of women in television. And we were taking a look at a lot of the stereotypes, that are placed on women.
What some examples of some TV shows you looked at?
It was like a big variety, everything from like Pretty Little Liars to Toddlers and Tiaras, and even we actually looked at SpongeBob.
Interesting, yeah.
So it was really interesting because, things that you would think, like women should be beautiful and women should be subservient. We saw that kind of thing, but we also learned some interesting stuff. Like SpongeBob is actually very postmodern. Because it shows Sandy as the role of somebody who is intelligent and helpful. Gets everybody out of trouble. So it was really, really interesting to look at.
So of all the shows, SpongeBob was very forward, actually.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, did that, surprise you? Were you shocked by any of these roles, or the way women were portrayed in general?
It was shocking because it was a cartoon, so I never thought about it as being something that really was moving society forward per se. But some of the other things were also shocking in a different way, like Toddlers and Tiaras is just it's very shocking for what it is, and it's just really cool to study this kind of thing because it's something that is in front of you every day, but you might not necessarily think about.
Well, you're also working on, stemming kind of from this project, an art project was inspired, I guess. What was the goal, the plan with that?
We have actually created it's like a huge board, I guess, like a panel, and we painted on it like the silhouette of a woman. She doesn't have a face, just to represent, I guess, every woman. So it kind of represents women of all societies, all cultures, and we painted words on the inside that were positive, like beautiful and smart and creative, and on the outside we actually painted words that were negative, how women are portrayed in society, subservient, should be a housewife. But we thought that we'd paint the positive words on the inside to kind of go against, I guess, the stereotypes that we see.
All right, well, interesting. I look forward to seeing it. That's all the time we have. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much.
We're right back with more Hear Me Roar.
If you feel the need to smoke, please use the designated areas outside Baird Hall and Lapin Hall.
Weeks ago, the Department of Women's Studies hosted documentarian Mimi Pickering to show her most recent documentary. I got the chance to actually sit down and interview her, so let's take a look at that.
To train young people in film and
my most recent film done with Ann Lewis is Ann Braden's Southern Patriot, which looks at this very important woman from Kentucky who played a big role in the civil rights movement and the ongoing movement up until the day she died in 2006. Well, Ann Braden was somebody that Ann Lewis and I knew, and we knew some of her story and how active she was. She was a white woman born and raised in the South, who really, as she says, transformed herself and joined the beloved community and fought for racial justice for her whole life. And really an amazing story. And we kept wondering, well, why isn't someone making a film about her? Somebody needs to make a film about her. And it just wasn't happening. I think she was turning people down because she always said, I don't have time for that. But eventually we talked her into doing a film with us. And so we started that in about 2005 and filmed her a number of interviews. But then she suddenly passed away in 2006. So we had the challenge of completing the film without her, and we were very lucky, and other filmmakers donated footage, and finally we were able to release it. We have a website called AnnBradenFilm.org. They can go there and get information. It was on KET, so it might still be available through KET online, and Apple Shop distributes it, so it is available from Apple Shop, and we have an online store, or you can call, and
For more information, you can visit appleshop.org. Hear Me Roar. We'll be right back after this.
Lord, what fools these mortals be.
Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo?
I have always depended on the kindness of strangers.
All we have for today's episode. Special thanks to Dr. Pullman Tier, Mimi Pickering, and also Chelsea Armstrong, as well as the Buddhist Temple at Chapel Hill. We have with us now Tempest Dickerson, who from the Black Gospel Choir, right? And she's going to sing a little something. What are you going to sing for us today?
I will be singing I Surrender All.
All right, well, let's hear it.
Thank you.